With the door closed, you know, where it's echoing, and I identify that way, and I deliberately keep my head away from the mic so the echo will.
Yeah, I'm sure there's guys out there that don't want to have you exude too much fun. They want you to be serious.
Yes. And you know what Ed used to do when he used to have to go up to the repeater site? There's a real long staircase, and it's got a lot of echo to it. So they would key up the radio. I've got some recordings of Ed and Bob. Bobby, and you can hear all the echo from the building. I'm sorry, but you know, that simple stuff, you know.
Where was his repeater?
PNC. It still is. The top of PNC.
Ed has like 5 or 6 repeaters. I mean, he's got repeaters all over.
He's got a digital 975 that's out here on one of the bank buildings. Closer to me.
I have Fusion, but I really don't use it. You know, I don't really use Fusion. It's good for when you're out of town, I think. You know, if you want to talk home, or if you're a technician.
Or even if you're in town and you want to talk.
Specialty groups. There's a lot of specialty groups. Or a technician that wants to talk around the world.
Yes.
About HR.
Yes. But I mean, I guess I'm old-fashioned because I like talking around the world on the low bands.
Why do too?
Because you're not using any fiber optics or, you know, it's all natural. And if the sun decides to mess it up, then it messes it up.
Yeah, I love HF. I mean, that's my favorite way of talking around the world, but I don't think anyone should be using their tools. Some people are 100% against all those DMR.
Oh, I know. I'm not either. I'm not. I think everything has its place.
I honestly haven't been on DMR in a while. I'm always on simplex.
I know. The one thing I don't like about DMR is it's a little bit watery.
It is watery.
If you get on Fusion, it's not.
One thing I like about DMR is, say I'm on a repeater in a city that I'm not familiar with.
Yes.
There's 2 time slots.
I know.
I don't feel like I'm intruding. Where on Fusion, if I want to contact you on Fusion,
I know.
and I have to go to a special group,
you're taking up the whole repeater.
I'm kind of I'm on a repeater and I'm changing a group on a group I'm not familiar with.
Exactly.
So I kind of feel weird about that.
I know. I don't like it either. That's the one thing I like about DMR is there's 2 different time slots.
Yeah. But you have to do a code plug.
Yes.
That's the harder side of DMR is you got to code plug everything in there. With Fusion, you just put the repeater in and the rest is done.
The rest, I guess, I don't know if you do it with touch tones or how you change
what happens
on
is
Fusion.
You go on Wires X. If you're on there, and what it does, the radio will download the group. It has a special signal that activates the Wires X, and it gives you a menu of all the talk groups you can go to.
Okay.
I don't know if they call it talk groups or rooms or.
There's different names. I know there's different names for them. I'm trying to stay. I spilled a little bit of gravy, and I'm trying to stay out of it.
You'll be all right.
I'm trying to stay out of it. I put my hand back there, and I could feel a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yum.
I knew you'd enjoy it. I love Packos.
Yes. Like I said, the last time I was here, I was with Ed and a couple of the guys. You know, we met after a fest. I think it was the Toledo Fest. In fact, I know it was. And we met at the main Packos because we were already over that direction because of Owens. And we had a long table, and I got to meet Colin, CMC, and a bunch of other guys.
You know a lot more people than I do, man. You've been on the radio for a long time.
He's in Florida now. And in fact, the group that he uses, you know, the local one, it's connected to a group up and down in Florida. I've
noticed that.
I've talked with them, too. They're nice people.
It's interesting that he set up that he can activate it from Florida as well as Detroit.
Yeah, they're nice people.
See, Nick and Tom were up in Detroit recently. If I would have known that, I would have tried to get them on Local 1.
If they would have had a radio with them.
They probably did.
But I like that. I like all kinds of different facets of ham radio. Now, some of them, like the FT8, some of that stuff, I'm not into. I want to talk to somebody. I don't. On that, you just get a little 5'9", you know, your equipment, whatever, goodbye. You don't really get a chance to learn about the other person. I like to learn about the other person and tell the other person. I talked to on 10 meters yesterday. I talked to a guy in the state of Oregon with my dipole on 10.
With your diaper on 10?
Yes, exactly. Actually, one of the AMers, you probably heard him, Timtron.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, he uses a diaper pole.
You've talked to him, haven't you?
I have. And have you heard him going?
All the time. I remember him before I was a ham. I remember Timtron. I remember when I finally got my ham license, I'm like, I totally remember listening to this guy on
Yeah. Microphonium.
Yeah, he was always fun. I was always entertained by him.
I know.
Well, in all honesty, that's how I met you. I was listening on my scanner. I'm like, who is this guy? And you're talking to Bruce. And you gave your phone number to somebody on, and I wrote your phone number down and called you.
Yeah. I remember that. My friend Ben that you've heard me talk about out in Bryan, he was having all kinds of trouble back in '07. His mom was passing away of cancer, and his parents, not his dad, but everybody else in the family, wanted him to shut up and keep all your emotions inside of you.
Right.
Which is the wrong thing to do.
It is.
So he heard me and liked my humor and everything, so he looked me up and got my number and called me. I've been helping him out now for 13 years plus.
Now you guys have been buddies for a while?
Yes, and he's wonderful. If you could have met him back then and if you would have met him now...
Two different people, huh?
Yeah, you wouldn't know it was the same person. He needed somebody to talk to get out the emotions and to understand him and...
Was he a ham then?
Yes. No, he wasn't a ham yet, but he was listening on a scanner.
So you inspired him to become a ham as well.
And then he got into debt because one of the ways that he was satisfying his feelings, since they wouldn't let...
money.
Yes. He paid it off to his dad, and his dad was real skeptical of me, and he got mad at Ben because, you know, who are you talking to, this guy from Sillyvania? Until he brought Ben up here and met me for the first time. Because his dad was from the military, and Ben had run into a lot of other people that were crappy. And so he thought I was just another crappy individual.
Who did?
His dad. Until he met me, until he actually came up here and met me.
Okay, so he brought Ben with him and he met you.
Yes. And now he just, you know, whenever I go out to see him, you know, to see Ben, I have to see his dad and have him give me 10 hugs, and, you know, he loves me. I like helping people like that, Scott. That's always going to be me, and I'm not going to change.
Now, they must have known some pretty bad people if they were suspicious of you. I'm just saying, if you're just suspicious of somebody for no reason, you know?
Yes, there's people, especially in Fulton County and whatever, that, you know, they're twisting the truth around and telling lies about you and posting things on the net that aren't true, and, you know.
But you're killing your roast beef pretty good there.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to the sides.
That's what my friend Emilio eats.
Then
one thing at a time.
Then you'll have to get me a mirror. You know why?
Why?
So I can be beside myself. Except it's really not myself, because it isn't. When you look in a mirror, isn't it an upside down image?
It's your doppelganger.
Speaking of that, when the astronauts have to go out, you know, to do spacewalks, and they have to adjust things on the front of their suit, you know, they have, everything is written upside down. So when they read it in the mirror, it comes out the other way. I thought that was clever. I thought that was really clever.
Good. You beat me, man. I got a little ways to go here, but you started before me too. So.
I did. I started before you.
Yeah.
I have the advantage.
Horseradish is a strange thing. because it does get into your nose, and you're like, whoa, it feels hot, but in a really quick way. It goes really quick.
Yes.
And there's a rush that comes with that. You're like, oh wow. There it goes.
Well, you can't have a rush with it.
He's dead.
You got it. You got it. I wondered if you're going to get that.
He's dead.
I wondered if you're going to. He was neat. You know, he was a neat person. He really was. I liked him. He was very compassionate too, and very.
IB network. Can you do an impression of Rush? Come on, you know you can.
Not really. I mean,
come on, because he had so many isms. And you imitated other people before.
I have.
Well, you're gonna. I don't really know a lot of Rush isms, but he's like, all right, all the libtards are out there. And we gotta. I think I can tap into my Rush Limbaugh, but I don't know my Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah. Well, I've never tried it.
So lower your voice a little bit.
Lower my voice a little bit.
You got a little. You don't have as deep a voice.
Yeah. Right. On the EIB network.
That's it. I knew you could do it because you like to imitate.
And then there's the I forget who the newscaster was, and that's the way it is.
Horseradish. That's horseradish.
Hot.
I'm just going. It's hot in a quick way. It gets in your nose. It's more in your nose than your throat. And that's the way it is. Was that?
I can't remember
Walter
who.
Cronkite.
I think that's who it was.
I like Walter Cronkite. He was.
You know what my dad used to mix up his name intentionally. No, it was Cronker Waltite.
I like that one. I've never heard that one before. But
I'll never forget. You know, all those little things that you